and welcome to Compliments International. This is Jennifer Begland, I'm the CEO of Compliments, and I'd like to talk to you for just a second about our maintenance program. The $99 a month maintenance fee is really related to keeping your website working at optimal conditions forever. So a lot of times people get confused between the difference between hosting and maintenance. Technically, our hosting is free. Now, it's included in a maintenance program. I want you to think about websites that maybe you've owned in the past. They haven't been maintained. Well, websites are kind of like cars. They operate almost the same. So if you own a car and you don't maintain it, get oil changes and maintenance and routine and tires changed and tires rotated and all of these things, unfortunately what happens with your car is it deteriorates over time. Websites are identical. If you can imagine, we're dealing with some of the largest, biggest companies and most technical companies there are in the world. Google is one of them. Well, Google is trying to meet the consumer's requirements for getting the best data when you're searching on the internet. Now, the challenge is 10 years ago, we maybe only had 500,000 websites on the internet. Today, we have over 1 trillion websites on the internet. So if you could imagine when you put something into Google and you type in restaurant in Dallas, Google has to go through hundreds and hundreds of thousands, and actually for that search phrase, millions of different web pages to determine which ones it needs to serve the client or the consumer, the person who put that search term into Google. Well, in order to sift through millions of web pages and absolutely instant results, it has to have certain things in place as far as your website goes. So some of the things that change on a frequent basis as far as the requirements of Google as well as your other major search engines are CSS requirements. CSS, that is style sheets. Every website has to have a global style sheet attached to it. Now there are millions of websites that are made without them, and that's why they don't perform very well. However, you have to have a global style sheet. If you can imagine a body, the style sheet is your clothes. That's what makes the website look pretty. That's the front end of the site or the visual appearance of the site. Now, also, all of the XHTML, XML, and so forth, all of your code requirements on how the website functions with Google. When you put that search phrase in, it has to go through and validate and make sure your CSS validates, your HTML validates, all the XML validates, and so forth. So a year ago, we used to be able to use the word bold, and we used to be able to put that in brackets, and that was the HTML that would turn a word from normal paragraph text to bold or a heading tag. Now you're not allowed to use the word bold. You have to use the word strong, and there's been even more changes since then. So with our websites, you're not getting just the clothes, which a lot of people purchase when you do a website with GoDaddy or QuickBooks. You're just getting the clothes. They're just giving you the flat HTML file. But with Compliments website, if you can imagine, the system actually is built kind of like let's make a sandwich. So the system has, first of all, the infrastructure, and the infrastructure is a database. Well, Compliments builds their websites using MySQL, which is the largest open source database platform there is. MySQL requires the same type of maintenance that you would on a car. It requires database compressions, it requires all of the database updates and maintenance, it requires all the code modifications or PHP changes on how the database interacts with the rest of the website. Now, we're building a sandwich, so we have the database on the bottom. Next, we have a layer of what's called business logic. Our business logic that we code in is called PHP. The PHP has modifications and changes. That is the brain. That is the brain. Then you have a content management system, and then you have another layer of PHP, and then you have a layer of style sheets, which is CSS. So essentially, each one of these independent layers must be maintained. We also do mass amount of security. We host your site. Security, I could go down that, but I would scare you. The amount of vulnerabilities that are on the internet in relation to websites is huge, and it would absolutely scare you. So that's a big area that we concentrate is security and backups. We also provide support, and we do that through a 24-hour help desk, an online Get Satisfaction forum where you can ask questions. We have an online training center, and we also have an in-house studio training center that we offer all of our clients to attend workshops to learn how to market their business, utilize the technology, and create behaviors that are going to help you improve your business and your online presence. Hopefully that helps you understand the Compliments maintenance plan.